So, a little bit about me. I'm 35 years old. I have 4 kids, happily married to the guy with a baby. I'm a religious Jew. I live in Israel. I'm a business owner, front-end developer, graphic designer, project manager, and I have a crazy hobby. I love Joomla. Most, like 90% of what I do is Joomla-based. I'm running the Israeli JAG with Dor Lamdan, who's running around here somewhere. I volunteer in the marketing team with several projects, and I manage a team of developers for SheCodes, which is an Israeli Women as Coder Association. So, let's talk a little bit about what a brand is, because that's what we're here to talk about, how to design a website for brands. So a brand is a name, term, design, symbol, or any other feature that identifies one seller's good or service as distinct from those of other sellers. That's definition by American Marketing Association. A brand will make you feel something. It's what people think of you. It's what makes you different and relevant. But a brand doesn't have to be something you sell. It can be a foundation, an idea, it can be a project, it can be free, it can be expensive. It all depends on the branding and the brand story. So what is branding? Branding helps people differentiate between competition and quickly judge quality of your product. I'll let you hear it for yourself.
What is a brand? A brand is the difference between a pair of running shoes and a pair of Nikes. A brand is what people feel about you, your product, the service you provide, or your organization. It's part rational, but mostly emotional. People will forgive a strong brand if it makes a mistake. Remember New Coke? Likewise, people won't forgive a weak brand if it makes a mistake. Remember Gateway Computers? We thought so. So, what is the secret of a strong brand? The answer is surprisingly simple. Focus. I'll say it again. Focus. Great brands stand for something. Not a lot of things. One thing. For decades, Swedish car maker Volvo defined their brand with a single word: safety. Well, it seemed to work for them. Sometimes you have to think beyond the category to know what you stand for. Harley-Davidson makes motorcycles. Want to guess what they stand for? Freedom. Not a more powerful engine, not a more reliable bike or a smoother ride. Freedom. Brands are experiential. Take Starbucks. They differentiate themselves in many ways and offer a consistent brand experience in every Starbucks you visit. They even have their own language. Starbucks has created a unique community of coffee lovers that speak Starbucksese and are true brand ambassadors. It doesn't get any better than that. Starbucks had realized they weren't in the business of serving coffee. They were in the business of serving people. So, can you put a monetary value on a brand? The people at Interbrand Research can. Remember the fine folks at Coca-Cola we mentioned earlier? Care to guess what their brand is worth? That's right. According to Interbrand, about 61% of the value of the Coca-Cola Corporation is brand. That's a lot of cash. Here's the monetary value of some other brands you'll be familiar with. So a brand is worth protecting and nurturing. But how? Here are a few key points to help maintain or even grow your brand. 1. Be different. The world is filled with parody products and services. Make yours stand out. 2. Be vigilant. Don't allow your brand to do things it shouldn't. Don't be the Gateway Computers of your category. 3. Be relevant. The marketplace changes constantly. Make sure your brand keeps up. So, who really owns a brand? The brand manager? The VP marketing? Brands are owned by the people. It used to be a company would tell people about their brand. It was pretty much a one-way thing. Now, it is much more of a conversation. But don't worry, this instant feedback can be very useful. It gives you a glimpse into what's in the hearts and minds of your customers and allows you to take action when you need to. It can also help you stay focused, and that's a good thing. So let's recap. A brand is much more than your logo or the color of your truck fleet. It's something intangible. It's what people think of you, but mostly on an emotional level. Great brands are focused. They stand for something. Great brands are not just seen and heard, they're experienced, and in a way that is uniquely theirs. A brand can have tremendous value and should be treated that way. Keep your brand healthy by being different, vigilant, and relevant. And finally, never forget that people, your customers, own your brand. Listen to them, respect them. Most of all, earn their trust.
So after establishing what brand is and what branding is, we want to go ahead and work on our brand. Those are the people, those are the products that come to our business, so we'll build them a website. When they come to us, we want to start in asking them very basic questions that would give us the focus we need. We always begin with asking why. This is I took from the Golden Circle from Simon Sinek. This is what your customer will ask. Why do I need this product? Why do I need your product? Why should I buy it from you and not from somebody else? Why does your business exist at all? What are your values? Yeah, what do you stand for? We are in a world of great competition, and we need to differentiate our brand and be able to know exactly what makes us unique or our clients. The product is not enough today to differentiate your company from the other companies. Other companies has the same product, right? So we have to find another way to make ourselves unique. Then we can go and ask ourselves how to fulfill this why and what should I as a company need to do in order to make this happen. We call it brand story. Yeah, we established that every brand is unique and it has its own story. But how would we get to the story? Let's take an example from Smart Trike. Smart Trike sell tricycles. Okay? If you would be a parent, if you are a parent, you would know that today, if you have a 10-month-old baby, you can't live without a tricycle. They told us a story. Okay? Their statement on the website is all-in-one trike that grow with your child and has everything you would want and need: comfort, safety, and easy steering. They found a problem that didn't exist before they came into the market, and they created it. Babies from 10 months old cannot sit on a ride-on toy, right? Those little cars that go around. But they don't really want to sit in the strollers, as you see my baby going around here and not being very happy about it. So they invented the Smart Trike, the bicycle that starts from 10 months old, and as you grow old, you take some of the parts out, and at the end you have the tricycle that we all know that the 3-year-olds go around with. They told us a story, and now people believe it, and no one can go around without a tricycle, a Smart Trike, at the age of 10 months. Yeah. They told us that this product has all these features that parents must have: one-hand steering and safety features and much, much more. At the end, it's a game of asking questions, and the answers would give us this brand story. If you would have a good and interesting story, that would make your brand much stronger. So we established what branding is, what our brand should look like, what its story should be, and then we go ahead and we try to put it out in the market. So in the old days, you would have the story, the brand story, and you would take an idea and you put it into an ad, and you put it on billboards and newspapers and on television, and that would be about that. But today, we have so much more. We have so much more mediums. We have social networks and landing pages and newsletters and websites and print and much, much, much more. So today, the marketing is a little bit different. Today, we take the story and we adapt it to the medium in which we're telling the story. So if we go to Instagram, it would be images. And if we would go to Twitter, it should be short and very precise message. Yeah, we only have a little amount of place to write it. But it also has to be interesting, otherwise people won't go in and read the rest of the story. Facebook is a place to combine images and story and go a little bit into depth. Print is a little bit from the old world, and we need to innovate it a little bit, but that's for next time. But we are here to talk about websites. And I want to claim that websites are the core foundation of our brand marketing. This is our stable anchor, okay? Here we can put our whole story, images, short messages, combine them all and build a puzzle which from it we can take the information and inspiration to all the other mediums we use. So we can see that website is one of the most important things for a brand. So I said a website is a puzzle, and when pieces are all together, then we get the whole picture. I believe that if a website is done the right way, it will be the foundation for all the marketing. And when you come to a website, you should find there all the information that make you feel the brand, understand it and its values, learn about it and the brand story, and get all you need to make a decision about the product. So you go into Instagram and you see this image, but this image points to the website. And you go into Facebook and you see this interesting post, but from there you'll go into the website. So if your website is not going to be strong enough, it's going to fail. I already talked too much about marketing and branding and values and more, but I'm not a brand manager. I'm a designer and a developer. So let's dive a little bit deep into the core principles of a website. It was all great in theory, but I promise you at the end, you'll find why it's easy to design a website for brands and not invent the wheel. Let's look at some websites. Yeah, my first principle would be to keep things simple. Let's look at Apple and Coca-Cola. You can see that every website has a menu at the top, has a footer at the bottom with all the information, has some nice images, some information about products, but that's about it. Let's look at Disney. You would think that they would do something a little bit more interesting. They are Disney after all, but no. Again, you have a top and a bottom. I'll show you the bottom later. You have products. It's all very simple, all very clean, all very white. Nike the same, and even Gucci is the same. It's all about the experience. We're not talking about a landing page. In a landing page, go ahead and get crazy. Design something that would get the message, one message that you want to say. But we're not talking about landing pages. This is a website, a whole website. Let's see some more websites. So we talked about Gucci. We'll see that in a minute. Let's see SmartRack that we talked about before. You can see SmartRack again. We have the top. We go down. We see nice images, a lot of information, a video, products with prices, right? Add to cart, very, very simple. Some safety features, some toys award and stuff like that. Facebook. And the bottom of the website. All very, very simple. Pepsi would be the same. Huge video, a little bit about the product, another video, some social media, and the bottom of the website. I'm only showing you the front page of the website, but if we'll go inside, it would actually even get simpler. Yeah, people only get crazy on the front page. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about the elements that should be in every website you design. That would be the core foundation, the first thing you do before you even take the Illustrator, Photoshop, whatever you design with. First of all, you make a wireframe, and you make sure that you have your sitemap ready. This would be the first step. I should have put it as a whole different slide without the rest. Sitemap. What's going to be in your website? What is the information that you're going to give? How are you going to structure it? How are you going to take the pages and, make them, how are you going to split the pages between all the menu that you have? Sometimes you have so much information that you have to be really, really smart about the experience you give your clients, how they're going to enter the front page, and how are they going to get to the information that you want them to get to. So that would be the first very, very important thing. Then the rest is a little bit of a checklist. Make sure you have social icons or social widgets, A search box to be able to look in the website. We're talking about a brand that has a lot of information. That the navigation is simple, as we saw before. All the big brands have a very simple navigation at the top. A slider or a video that will give us interesting perspective on the brand, that maybe we'll be able to go a little bit into depth and point our viewers to specific places on the website. A product inspiration, so that could be what we saw before, just the products with the add to cart, or it can be something a little bit more interesting if you don't have a shop and you have just a catalog. Make sure your images are nice, we'll talk about that in a minute. Make sure you have testimonials on the website. It's a brand, people know it. Let's give people that use this product, talk about it. We're probably not going to be doing the next Coca-Cola website, so our brand is still not very known. Testimonial is very, very important. Client information. If you don't have physical details on your website, it's hard to make your website validate, okay? If you have your physical details, people know there's a place they can go to, they know where the country of this brand is, they have a telephone to go to, they have a chat to go to. A contact us form, basic. A newsletter sign up. I can assume that if you are a brand, then you would have a newsletter to send to your customers. And above all, keep your design clean. So we have a wireframe, we know what do we want to show in our website, and now we have to go ahead and design it. What our client needs, we have everything that our client needs in order to share all the information about its product, and now we can go ahead and design it. So we should keep some basic guidelines that would need to work with our brand. Does anyone know what a style guide is, or a brand book? That's it? Good, so that's what I'm here for. Let's look at the next slide and then we'll go back. A brand book or a style guide would look something like this. It would have the way that you should show the logo, that probably has a trademark, and it should be shown on your website in a very, very specific way. You have typography that goes with this brand, colors that you shouldn't go away from, some icons, some marks, some design elements that could go in the website. That's all supposed to go into a style guide. Now, if you're lucky, then, and you have a very good brand that is coming to you, they are supposed to already have a style guide. So it will take you about a half an hour, more or less, to design the website, because you have all the information you need in order to take that and put it into the wireframe you created, and that's it. But if you're not so lucky, let's go a little bit about what's supposed to be in a style guide, and we'll give you a little bit of instructions. So logo is something that your brand or your customer should give you the answer for. This is not something you should go and play around with. They should tell you if it should be on a black background, on a white background. If it is on a black background, how it should look. If it's on a white background, how should it look, etc., etc. Colors. You would take your colors from your logo. What happens if you can't take your colors from the logo because your logo is black and white or something like that? Go and stick with colors that are simple. Go with black and white and gray. Those are everywhere. And then try to find one or two more colors to complement the logo and complement the brand. That's why we talked about values and what a brand is and what we're trying to say. Every color has its own unique understanding. It's not the right word, but I hope you know what I mean. So find like two colors that would complement your logo and the brand. Choose 2-3 fonts, but be careful with creative fonts. If you use creative fonts, use them wisely. a little bit in taglines, in the slider. Don't put them everywhere. They are going to distract the customers from the information. Icons should match the look and the feel of the website and make sense to the subject that the website is talking about. Don't take just icons because you can find them on Font Awesome. There are awesome fonts there, but then they're not matching everywhere. Find one design feel for your icons and go with it. Don't put outlined icons with full colored icons, with black icons, with 7 colors icons, okay? Images. They should be fun and interesting and telling a story like Coca-Cola did. So I'll go back to Coca-Cola here because if I'll go back to the other side, it's going to be really hard. But you can see, did you notice that all the pictures that Coca-Cola has always have people moving inside of them? Not physically, obviously, it's an image, but doing something. You would never have an image from Coca-Cola that is still, that is like a person just standing there. There will always be holding the Coke or looking somewhere or doing something. It always has to be active because Coca-Cola is fun and you can't explain fun if you don't see fun. So that's a little bit about images. And it goes on to buttons and lines and the hierarchy of your website. You should put in your style guide what an H1 should look like and how an H2 should look like. And if you put a paragraph, what if you put a link? What if it's an important link? You should keep and stick yourself to a grid system and go with it through all the websites. And boxes, you know, the boxes that we see all over the website should be about the same. Keep consistency and keep things simple. Consider the fact that sometimes the website is going to be translated, and if it's translated to an RTL language, then your whole website is going to look the opposite of what it is looking right now. There are coding solutions for that, but you have to take that into consideration. And if you really, really want to give your client a very, very good experience, you can always translate those style guides into code. Chiara showed me yesterday an amazing website that is all codes. So like if you're not a developer, you wouldn't really understand what it means. But it was just taking a style guide like this and writing it into code. So the developers that come and develop the website won't forget that the box should look like this and the shades should be like that. And then if you take all of those, I wanted to show you more style guides, but I'm not going to go back over there. So if you do all of that, right, and you keep your structure, and you have a sitemap and a brand story, and you know exactly what your values are, and you have a brand book or a style guide, then it really should take you about a half an hour. I'm a little bit exaggerating, but not more than a day to design a website. It's actually quite easy. We're not trying to invent the wheel. We're trying to take whatever we have inspiration on the web and use it, and it's all quite very simple. This is where the why and the how comes together and answer the what. But then, we're talking about brands, so we want to spice it up a little bit. So first of all, one very, very major rule, don't surprise, okay? Don't go ahead and make a website that is all about animation and big images, and that would just distract your clients from the users from the message that your client is trying to bring. Again, this is not a landing page. In a landing page, go crazy and do everything, to pop things out and make people come and buy this specific product. But here, we're talking about a lot of information that they need to be able to digest. Let's see a little bit of a spicing up. So that's part of the Coca-Cola brand book. And you can see, like I told you before, that all the pictures are things that moving or actions or, yeah, they even put some words to make you feel what you need to feel when you come to design this website. So happiness and joyful and innovative, or however you say that, exciting and authentic and optimist. Let's look at Heinz SketchUp. Their website is extremely, extremely simple. And I bet you they built it like 5 years ago because the design looks like that. But they still used a very cute image that when you go into the website and you see Meet the Ketchups, that tells you something about the brand and explains to you something. But you don't have to take images in order to spice up things. You can still use things that are known with the brand. I know it's really hard to see, but they have like Mickey Mouse and flowers and all sorts of stuff on the bottom, just as a background, just to spice it up a bit, just to give a little bit of something interesting. And before I come to the end, I just want to show you one more thing. So let me go back and mirror you again. Okay, so let's look a little bit on the website. So that we saw already. That's a Coca-Cola website. You can see that they took all their important messages and put them into videos and images. Very simple font, very big images. That's the way they present everything on the website. Okay? They actually don't have a lot of animation on the website. But what I wanted to show you, let's see if my internet works. It should. Wait a minute, wait for it, wait for it. Do you see what they did here? That is so cool. Put a little bit of animation, a little bit of scrolling, a little bit of interesting elements into your website. Not into the information, but into the design of it, just to spice it up a bit. And after all of that, I understand that not all of you are designers, so not all of you can go ahead and make a style guide. So put it as a product into your product, in all your products that you have for your clients, and find a designer to work with. And when you get to a website and you need to go ahead and design it or instruct somebody to design it, make sure your client understands. If he's a big brand, if he wants to be known, if he wants to get his message out there, he should follow those rules. He should get values and brand story and understanding of what his brand is supposed to mean. And then go ahead and wireframe the website and give them a good understanding of how this message is going to be looking in all those many pages that this website is going to have. And then explain to them that if they don't have a very basic style guide and a brand book, it's going to be very hard for them to design this website. And since we said that the new marketing is Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and everything else, if you have a very good style guide, that's what will give them the opportunity. It will save them money on the long run, and they'll be able to take the style guide and give it to the marketeers or to the ads person, so whoever does marketing and design for them later on, and use the style guide as something that they can use for years. So this is how you design website for brands and not invent the wheel. So, thank you. Any questions? Any questions? Yeah.
Often the clients come saying, I need a website, and they want just to have the technical part, but then when I realize they don't know anything about the whole thing, what do you tell them?
That's exactly what I explained to them. I explained to them that if they want their brand to be something that will be known, if they want to take their marketing to the next level, the website is the foundation for it. So if they're not going to put their energy right now into explaining their style guide and everything that I said in the whole presentation, they're going to pay much more money at the long run. Not even money. The brand is not going to be strong enough to stand. If they don't want to use me to do that, if they want to take a different designer to do that, Go ahead. And you know what? If a client comes to me and he's stubborn, I will just use a template. I wouldn't waste time on him. I wouldn't try to design something for him that's, like, if he wants just the technical stuff, take a template. I send him to Template Monster or to whatever. And look for a template that you like, and I will build your website. But the one thing that I always insist is getting a sitemap. This is the only thing that, like, you can't go without. You can't build a website. It doesn't matter if it's a template or not a template. The rest, if you want to choose a template, go ahead and do that. But if he wants his brand to be strong and he wants to do something more important than just get a website on the internet, then he should go through the process. And this is from experience of 9 years of developing websites and designing for clients. I can tell you, whoever did this process is strong today. I built a website for a client 7 years ago. Today they went and they built their website with somebody else. I was on maternity leave, and they went and they had to have a new website. They couldn't wait 4 months until I'll come back. Okay, but now they used the style guide that I gave them then to build the new website. It doesn't look different than what I designed them. It's just a new website because they took all of the information that I gave them and they used it now. And they have a very easy life today, and they're a very strong brand.